Images and Words is the second studio album by American progressive metal rock band Dream Theater, released on July 7, 1992 through Atco Records. It is the first Dream Theater release to feature James LaBrie on vocals. The album maintains its position as the band's most commercially successful studio album to date, and the song Pull Me Under has the distinction of being the only top 10 hit the band has had to date. This particular song has also had more recent success as it has appeared in the 2008 video game Guitar Hero World Tour. Although there is no title track on this album, the phrase Images and Words appears in the song Wait for Sleep. History: after Charlie Dominici's departure from the band auditioned nearly 200 people across the nation before James LaBrie sent the band an audition tape. LaBrie was formerly in the Canadian glam metal band Winter Rose, but saw potential in the band, and thus decided to audition. After a short jam session, the band chose him as their lead singer, and he has manned the post ever since. With LaBrie on board, the band was signed to a 7-album contract by Atco, and shortly after began recording their new album in late 1991. The lead single, Pull Me Under, gained the band considerable commercial success with its airplay on MTV and radio, garnering them a top 10 hit on the radio charts. When the album was released, it sold at a steady pace, helped by their relentless touring across the world. This album was originally going to be a double album, but Atco Records judged this too risky, so some songs got taken out of the album, as one of those songs, A Change of Seasons, was re-recorded in 1995 and put into its own EP, which also contains some bonus live covers. Images and Words was played in its entirety on several occasions during the European leg of the Chaos in Motion tour, in celebration of its 15th anniversary. It was performed on June 6, 2007 in Bonn, Germany, and was released as the International Fan Club's CD 2007. On July 7, 2012, the 20th anniversary of the album's release in 1992, Dream Theater performed 3 songs from Images and Words as the encore of their concert in Austin, Texas, Pull Me Under, Another Day, and Metropoliza Euro Part 1. In 2013 the album was reissued on vinyl. Reception: upon release, the album was met with universal acclaim and many critics and fans cite this album as a landmark release for the progressive metal genre. The album later received an RIAA certification of gold, the band's only studio album to date to do so. Trivia: in 1991, James LaBrie appeared as a guest artist on Life in Stillwater of Fate's Warning's 1991 album Parallels. In the liner notes the band thanks Dream Theater. Dream Theater later responded by thanking Fate's Warning as Fatty's Warning in the liner notes of Images and Words. Take the Time includes a sample from Frank Zappa's 1979 song Dancin' Fool, specifically Zappa saying wait a minute. As well as Curtis Blow's 1980 song Christmas Rappin', in which Blow says hold it now. It also samples Public Enemy's 1990 song Power to the People, in which Chuck D says come on. Awards: on April 9, 2013, Images and Words won Loudwire's fan-voted March Metal Madness Award for Best Metal Album of All Time. The song Under a Glass Moon was awarded the 98th Best Guitar Solo by Guitar World magazine. In October 2011, Images and Words was ranked number 7 on Guitar World magazine's top 10 list of guitar albums of 1992. In 2015 the album was listed as number 1 on the Prog Report's Top 50 Prog Albums of 1990 to 2015. Other DT albums were included as well: Scenes number 3, 6 Degrees number 14, Awake number 18, Train of Thought number 38. Track listing: all music composed by Dream Theater, except Wait for Sleep by Kevin Moore. Personnel: Dream Theater, James LaBrie Euro-lead vocals, John Petrucci Euro guitar, background vocals, Kevin Moore Euro keyboard, John Young Euro bass, Mike Portnoy Euro drums, percussion, background vocals on Pull Me Under, additional musicians, Jay Beckenstein Euro soprano saxophone on Another Day, production, David Prater Euro mixing production, Doug Oberkircher Euro engineering, mixing, Steve Regina Euro engineering assistants, Ted Jensen Euro mastering. Certifications. Chart performance, album, Singles. References